Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Firsties. So today we are going to try something new. Well, we kind of tried it before, but I actually have something to call it now. So this episode is going to be called Firsties Corner. And the reason why I want to call it Firsties Corner is because I put on our Instagram story, which you haven't already, please follow Firsties Pod everywhere on Instagram. I don't know why you're not already following. So if you're listening to this, pause this, go follow, then come on back. And honestly, on that note, sorry, my ADHD brain, I saw on our YouTube that 80% are not subscribed. What is going on, guys? I don't know if your subscriber button is broken. If it is, please go to your nearest Best Buy. Geek Squad is amazing. They will fix it for you. Once it is fully repaired, please make sure you click the button and also click the bell to make sure that you get notified when we post so you don't miss any uploads that come up. We come on every Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Just a shameless plug there. So on our Instagram, I put up Ask Us questions, and we were able to filter through them. I'm surprised with the questions that came up. Some of them were pretty deep. And as you guys know, the brand of Firsties is that we're kind of embracing being first gens, but also embracing we don't really know what we're doing. So this is where I'm going to place my disclaimer that I'm going to be sharing these questions, and the answers that I might give is based on two things. One, my experiences and my perspective, which is different for every single person, so take it with a grain of salt. And two, to key for entertainment purposes, please take that with a grain of salt. I wish everyone well. Don't take it too personally. Disclaimer there. Can you tell I'm terrified? Okay. So before we get started, as always, I always want to say thank you so much for all your support. Our last episode, or a couple last episodes, for a Habesha Thanksgiving. If you haven't watched that, please do. It is still relevant for the next holiday that is coming up, which is Christmas and New Year's. So please make sure you watch that. That was received very well. You guys kind of like that type of content, so we're going to do more of that for you guys. So it looks like we're going to go on with that theme. A lot of these questions that people sent in were relationship based, which I'm surprised because the one thing I just asked was ask me a question. That was simply it. So I'm surprised that majority of these is relationship based, which is hilarious if you know me. If you know, you know. I'm just going to leave that there. So let's get into these questions. Again, guys, let's not take it too seriously. Let's just have some fun. Let me see what I have here. I have it on my laptop here. Okay. What's the best way to explain my family's weird traditions to my partner without scaring them off? So when I read this, I thought, if it's the right person, you're not going to scare them off. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for. Truly, the people, I'm not going to go into names, but the people who've married into my family who are of different culture, there was definitely some explanation that went through it. The one thing that's coming to mind, if you're Habesha, you know, how are we going to explain how there is just like a skinless animal just hung from a ladder essentially at a wedding, and it's cut off on every plate? Little help. Yeah. How are we going to explain that? Which if you're Habesha, you'll understand that. But if it's the right person, if it's the right partner, you're not going to scare them off, because as they've grown to know you, they've obviously grown to know your heritage, and they should accept that of you, right? Because that's the whole you. Part of your heritage is you. So if it's the right partner, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Hope the holidays are going okay. How do I introduce my partner to our family rituals without causing a cultural shock? I honestly think with this one, there is no avoiding this. The culture shock is going to happen if a culture shock is going to happen. So again, if it's the right person, then they'll take it one step at a time. I do have to say something about my family, at least my direct family. We're very loud, vibrant, opinionated. So you got to get in there, right? So, but we're also very welcoming and loving and nurturing and all those things. We welcome everyone with open arms, but it is a lot of us. There's a lot of personalities as well. So I have seen people who've come into the family have kind of like a, whoa, this is a lot, especially because there's a lot of us from older and younger. But they also see the love, right? And I do think part of being an immigrant family is we come in numbers. Food's amazing, music, faith. There's nothing like an immigrant family. There really isn't. I'm truly blessed for the family that I have. Just coming off from the holiday, it was just a nice, friendly reminder of how blessed we are to have our family in our lives. So yeah, there might be a culture shock, but I think it's worth it with the family that they're stepping into. All right. So I just have to say, like, with these questions, I was here to like kiki, and you guys are here to like not. You guys are here to really get down to nitty gritty. And it's wild that you're coming to my show for this, just because, again, I'm embracing that I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best here. And I'm really sending good vibes to every viewer of this show. Okay. How do I convince my grandma that finding a partner on a dating app is not bringing shame upon the family? I quite literally was laughing when I read this, and we put this on the marker for this episode, because yeah, that's inevitable. Grandma, times are changing, right? People are swiping left, people are swiping right, people are doing other things as well. Times are changing. As long as you meet the partner that you want in your life, I mean, it doesn't really matter how you met the person, right? Sorry, I just had a random thought in my head. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you met the person. You could also say, yeah, you met them on a dating app, but then wherever you guys meet for the first date, that could technically be where you met them. So let's say you guys met up at a coffee shop. You could say, oh, we met each other at a coffee shop, and keep it cute. Truly, sometimes less information is more. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. So that might be a way to prevent you from any more shame upon the family. That's a really funny one, though. Let me see here. How do I decipher my in-laws' nods and eyebrow speaking a language I barely understand? I mean, honestly, I laugh because coming from a Ethiopian family, we're very expressive. So like, again, inevitably, that's just going to happen. I say lean into it is what I would say. And if you're not understanding their language, don't take it as a sign of disrespect. That's just their native language. So they're used to speaking it that way. It's not necessarily that they're speaking about you, which sometimes they might be, but that's another TED Talk. But for the most part, they're just comfortable in that language. That's what they speak. But I say lean into it, but also do not take it personally. Again, guys, these questions, I was just here to kiki, and you guys really want to get into it, but okay. Let me see here. How do we settle the whose family's holiday traditions are weirder debate without causing a family feud? Now, the context of weirder is strange to me. Like, what does that really mean? I think although you might not be in the same culture, like let's say, okay, I'm an Ethiopian girl, if you guys haven't noticed, and let's say I meet an Indian guy, right? Although our cultures are different, a lot of it is very similar, and so I don't think anything is going to be weird. It's just going to be unfamiliar. That's probably the word I would use, is that it's unfamiliar. So I hopefully won't cause a family feud. I would say just embrace it all. But the word weirder is a little strange to me. I would say things are unfamiliar. But I think it's honestly an opportunity for you to explore heritage or culture, and then get closer to your partner as well. Let me see here. Any survival tips for when my partner insists of having a full traditional wedding with what? With elephants and fireworks? Okay, girl, pop off. And my family just wants a backyard barbecue. Now, from my experience, a backyard barbecue is just a mahabbat at this point. It's just That's a July 4th party, right? That's not an actual wedding for us. I honestly can speak. I've been to an Indian wedding, Hispanic wedding, obviously a bunch of Somalia wedding as well. And it's a multi-day, event, 3 days, 5 days. And usually the last day or even like the weekend after the wedding is then like a backyard situation or like a house situation, which then it's just more intimate family. But if I'm just going to say, girl, I actually don't even know who wrote this in, but a traditional wedding, that's what's going to happen. Like, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. That's part of the firsties experience, honestly, is that these weddings are massive. Everyone that you've known since you were a child is going to be at that wedding. It's quite literally insane. I have not been to a wedding that was 400 people, 500 people, truly. I mean, it's again, we come in numbers and we want to share the love, and it's very much exciting. So this is where I'm going to tap out and be like, girl, I don't know. Good luck with the barbecue or the full wedding. Just smile for those photos, girl. Those are going to last forever. All right, let me see here. Okay, this one is a really funny one. I was like, okay. My partner tried my family's famous spicy dish. Was it gaiwat? It was probably gaiwat. And turned into a fire-breathing dragon. What do I do? Drink milk, babes. That's all you're going to do there. Toughen up, buttercup. That's just what it is. A lot of our foods are very, very spicy. I wish you specified what dish it was. I'm really, really curious. But yeah, drink up, babes. Milk will help with that. But there was not much I could do there. All of our dishes are pretty, pretty spicy. Let me see here. What do I do if my partner accidentally wears traditional clothing to a family gathering and becomes the center of attention? Now, I wish you clarified if this partner is of the same heritage as you, because if that partner is not, that is a wild thing to do. I'm already cringing for you, and I hope you don't take offense to that, just because imagine if I take my partner to my family's gathering who is not Ethiopian. Again, fun fact, I'm Ethiopian. And my partner wears a gabi, for example. I wish you guys see the camera. I wish you guys are watching on YouTube right now, because I don't even know how to react, because I'm truly speechless. Because, that, to me, that just seems like you're trying too hard. Like, if you're coming from different heritage or culture, that is totally okay. I lean into it, right? It's not a surprise when, by the time you bring that partner home, I would hope that you've had the discussion like, hey, this is my partner, to your family members or to your parents. That way they know who's coming home for Christmas, let's say. So, it shouldn't be a surprise. So lean into that, right? So like, for example, I'm not going to mention names, but, in my family, it's not all Habesha. People who've married into my family are from different countries and different cultures, which is amazing. I love it. We're just kind of like a melting pot. But it's not like we avoid it that person's not from Ethiopia. But what we certainly do is ask questions, just because we're curious of that culture. If we're not really familiar with that culture, about the different foods and languages, and if they've been back home in a little while and their upbringing and things of that nature. It's more of curiosity more than anything. But I just feel like if that person comes to the family function in, Ethiopian garments, I just think that's like your first impression to the family. I just feel like that's trying too hard. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but to me, that is not happening. If he pulled up to my family gathering like that, I would tell him that, babes, you got to change. I'd rather you go shirtless than to have this. I don't know. I just feel like it's trying too hard. So I can't give you advice there. The effort does count. Let me backtrack. Yeah, the effort does count, but I don't know. I just think if he or she comes over as who they are, that's good enough. You don't have to I always say, like I mentioned, lean into it, right? So like lean into the fact that you're not from the particular culture that I am, because I've already had the discussion with my family and they're excited to get to know you. So that is my feedback. Again, that is from my experiences and my perspective. So take that with a grain of salt. Again, Firsties, that's the brand we're embracing. First gens here, and the people would be the first to do something. So with that comes quite a bit of mistakes. So keep that in mind. Okay, couple more. Okay, let me see here. As I look through a couple more of these, guys, we're going to take a quick, short break. We'll be back after these messages. Hey guys, we interrupt this episode for Montana West. Montana West stands as a beacon of Western-inspired fashion, offering an authentic blend of traditional Western motifs with contemporary style. Founded with a passion for the Western aesthetic, Montana West crafts a versatile array of products from leather bags, handbags, to unique footwear, each designed to cater to those who carry the spirit of the West. So one of those leather handbags is this little guy right here. Sending me this lovely little bag here. I travel quite a bit, like I'm talking 2 to 3 flights possibly a week, sometimes 4 on a bad week. So I love anything that helps me out on my traveling needs, and this definitely does. I've already added some items in here, and I love how there's also, multiple pockets as well. It's kind of different rather than like your regular like Jansport backpack. So thank you Wrangler for sending me this bag, and also thank you for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the episode. All right, guys, we are back. All right, so where was I? All right. Okay, so we have a couple more here. How do I explain to my partner that family dinners mean a 5-course meal, which they put that in air quotes, with my extended family, not a cozy meal for 2? So I'm guessing you're saying that, I don't know what background you are, but I'm guessing you're saying that, I mean, I could relate that, and dinners, and mahabas and things, it's not just, a couple of us, it's a bunch of us, and it's quite a bit of food as well. I say, again, lean into that. It might be intimidating at first, but after a while, they actually really do look forward to that, and they know nothing other than that kind of lifestyle afterwards. Because who wouldn't want to be around family, having fun, cracking jokes, playing music, all that stuff. So I would just say lean into it. And also the food is bomb, so I think they'll be okay. Let me see here. These are pretty good questions. I'm surprised. Again, guys, I was hoping for just like, what's your favorite color? And all of you guys are like, so my parents and my upbringing, which is amazing. But okay. How do I explain to my partner that I have a million nicknames and none of them are my government name? So this is pretty funny. So actually, I want you guys to comment down below if you guys can relate to this. A lot of us in the household that we live in, we have a bunch of nicknames, and we rarely go by our actual name, like our birth order or birth name, like the name that we were given when we were, or assigned when we were born. So I mean, you could go into detail about that. I mean, for mine, it's a very long-winded story, but I think that's just funny how we can all relate that, like, we all have these nicknames that we get called around the house, but might differ from when, like, we grew up in high school or anything like that, or from when we were a kid. I'll tell them to take your pick on your favorite nickname, and they should call you that. Okay. How do I convince my partner that a fusion of our cultural dance moves at our wedding will be epic, not embarrassing? This is where I'm going to tap out. I have not been married, never planned a wedding, so I would say go to a friend or family member who has gone through that. I'm going to tap out on that one because I have no idea how to do that. But I do have to say that, again, I would imagine that at these weddings that I've even attended, that it is really a celebration of these two people coming together, and that should reflect the two cultures coming together as well as the two families coming together. I have been to a couple of what I call hybrid weddings, which is two different cultures coming together. And it is really beautiful and really, really exciting to see the families like mingling together and stuff like that. It can be kind of hilarious sometimes as well, but for the most part, it's just a lot of fun. Okay, I think that is it. I'm trying to make sure that I cover everything. I think there was one more on here that I wanted to cover. These are really good questions, guys, and it's honestly on the top. I'm guessing a lot of you are going to be, taking your special partner home for the holidays, and Christmas is around the corner. That we just passed Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving break. I know it can be very, very, I can imagine it can be very, very nerve-wracking to bring your partner home, especially regardless, anyone bringing anyone home can be a little nerve-wracking, but bringing home someone of, a different culture as well, there's also that hurdle to get over. So I'm hoping that everything is going splendid, and is running smoothly. Let me see here. Oh, this is a good one here. How can we improve communication when our culture backgrounds affect how we express ourselves? So I'm guessing you're speaking on the fact that a lot of the times growing up, I can only speak for myself, but growing up, I didn't necessarily learn the skill of communicate as far as I learned it later, but as far as like my emotions and in my intimate relationships, I didn't really learn how to express my emotions because growing up, I didn't really have room to do that. So I would say now in my adult life, realizing that when I'm talking to someone, the one thing that really helped me is and truly sometimes listening to actually understand rather than replying, because I always just think I should have another point to come across or to extend to the other person, but truly listening to actually understand and comprehend what the other person's saying, and then repeating what they said back to them to confirm that, and then moving the conversation forward, I think just makes it a much, much easier process of communication. Rather than listening to reply, which all of us are guilty of that. And I'm still learning as I go, but that is something I learned like last week. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm 27 now. So I'm still learning and growing, embracing that. But I do know in our culture, communication and expressing emotions isn't really a thing because we didn't have room to do that. Also, we didn't have the time to do that, right? I know I've talked in other episodes before with some guests that we were on survival mode. So if anyone knows about Maslow's hierarchy of law, I believe, when you're simply trying to, make sure that you're eating, shelter, food, you're not really thinking about like, how do I make that person feel, or how am I communicating, right? That's not on the priority list at that moment. We're now a point in my life that is, because my parents did everything they could to give everything that they could to me and my siblings, and then we're able to live this more fruitful life because of that. Shout out to my parents. Love you guys so much. I think that is it. These were pretty great questions, guys. I'm honestly so impressed. I honestly thought that when I put this out, I would get, because the first time I did this, I got some pretty silly questions. I didn't even read all of them because I'm like, I'm not saying that on air. But I really do appreciate all of the feedback and the support. I'm trying to make sure if we've gone through all the questions here. As always, make sure that you're following on Firsties Pod. If you want to add any questions, your question will be added to the show, which is pretty exciting. Let me see if I have any. Let me see here. If we have any more before we go. Let me see here. I think that is it. So I hope you guys like this episode. Comment down below if you have any feedback or what advice that you would give. and also any ideas on any future episodes as well. As always, guys, I really appreciate all the support and love. It really means a lot. I also want to plug that we just dropped, we'll see when this episode comes out, but we do have on our Instagram and TikTok all of the content from the Salam Central's First We Dance event. That was a lot. Be the first to post anything, even if it's little sneak peeks or behind the scenes or anything like that. So make sure you follow there. And again, make sure you subscribe as well on YouTube, and then click the bell to make sure you get notified every time we upload a lot. And then lastly, wherever you're listening to the audio, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, please make sure I leave a rating. That helps us out a lot. I'm really excited for the end of the year. These next couple weeks, I'm getting some guests that I cannot believe we were able to pull this off. I'm very, very, very excited. And also, I have gotten a couple DMs, when I say a couple, literally two, where there's requests for my dad. He will be on sometime. We just got to work out the schedule, but he will be on. So again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. I've already plugged enough. I'm sorry, guys. I really want you guys to get this content. And I will see you next time. As always, call your family, call your friends. I hope you're having a great holiday season, and call your parents. They're only here for a moment in time. So let's make sure we give them their flowers while they're here. And I will see you next time. Take care, guys. That was good.